It's Laura, and I am back with a layout using the November Clique kit. And I decided to do this layout because Clique Kits was having what they call a pep rally, which is essentially an Instagram hop, and anyone can join in. I'm not a member of their design team, but I thought I just got my November kit out yesterday to play with it, and it was sitting on my desk, so why not? I was a little unprepared to make a layout today, but we're gonna do it anyway. This photo is of my dad, and this is a page that is kind of representative of his passing in our album. So it's just kind of mark that event in our family album. And so this is kind of a memorial page, and it's not gonna be super fancy. And I kept the design fairly simple because I knew that this photo was going to be hard for me to scrap just emotionally. So I felt like if I go ahead and keep the design simple, then I can focus on mixing some elements of masculinity and some elements of femininity, like florals and things like that. When I think about a loved one passing, I always think about flowers. And so I thought, you know what, how about if we do a little bit of how to put flowers on a masculine layout, because this is a very masculine layout. It's going to have a wood grain background. It's got corrugated black paper. We've got a strong, bold black stripe there, as well as this fantastic paper. It's a gold foil background paper. It's a very strong, masculine layout. And then I add flowers to it to soften it up, to give it a little bit more interest. And I think too, it's just kind of an homage to the fact that he was an outdoorsy person. And instead of sticking deer on there or some random animals, I decided to just go ahead and add some beautiful florals. And this Amy Tangerine Shine On collection is really great for this because even though they're florals, some of the flowers are black. And some of the flowers are kind of an interesting shade of orange, which you obviously don't see in nature. And I thought that would be kind of cool to use this collection for this photo for that reason, because it has the black florals. It has a lot of black elements that I think really work well on masculine layouts. So of course, when I'm in a bit of a time crunch scrapping, I choose to do something very time consuming. And this time it was die cutting. I don't know about you, but I do this every time. If I think, okay, I have 1 hour to scrap, I want to get a page done, inevitably, I choose something fiddly, something that's going to take me a lot of extra time to do, like die cutting, and incorporate it into the layout. So in this case, I had these really cute Spellbinders dies that I had just picked up, and had this fantastic kind of a fern leaf that I've been looking for a while, and decided to go ahead and cut out 2 of those to add to that cluster on the bottom left of his photo. While I was doing that, I had an extra piece of gold foil paper and decided to go ahead and use that floral one up at the top as well, and cut out some of those just because I wasn't sure I would use them on this layout or if I would just have them and use them on the next layout. It didn't really matter to me because it would work with this kit regardless. So I went ahead and cut them out since I had all the pieces already on my desk. Why not? So I went ahead and cut them out, and I do end up using all 4 of those little florals, and I really like them. They made a great little backing for the flowers in the Amy Tan kit. Mostly because Amy Tan's style is very doodly. It's not super linear and straight, and the florals do not look realistic at all. And I thought this would be a fun way to just add a little bit of pop to them, is to put that gold behind them. So that's what I end up doing, using some glue dots to attach those together, because glue dots are a nice strong adhesive, and I know they won't move on me. And they also give it a little bit of lift because these glue dots are 3D glue dots. Also, I thought I would reach for the little cut apart sheet that comes with the Clique kit and cut out some of these little florals, because Amy Tangerine's collections have gorgeous floral papers, but not much floral ephemera. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 pieces of flower ephemera in her ephemera pack, and no, there was more than that, but a lot of them were craft florals, which I'll be honest, I will struggle to use. Craft is not my favorite color of paper, background, ephemera, etc. And half of this ephemera pack is craft. So it will challenge me a little bit, but I am determined to make a dent in that ephemera pack. So I did grab this large floral from the ephemera pack and go ahead and add it as my main floral. And then I'm going to add those gold leaves and a few of these little fussy cut florals from the Clique Kit's cut apart sheet that comes with the kit, and just kind of add those all together. I mostly used the main kit, but I do get both kits, and I think I may have pulled a couple of pieces from the Traveler's Notebook kit as well, just so you know what I'm using here. And I'm just going to, again, layer those doodly flowers on top of those gold die cuts. That way it has that little bit of dimension. I'm also ruffling up the edges of the flowers so that it has a little bit of texture, and it feels not quite so flat. I mean, otherwise they're just flowers and they're sitting there. They look kind of flat. I've also added some foam behind the photo as well as behind pieces of the florals. So just the bottom of this floral as it's going to sit halfway off of the photo. And I'll also add it behind some other elements that have to pop up above the photo. Using my tonic glue pen on the gold foil pieces because it works, it's quick, it's faster than fighting with my double-sided tape for small fiddly pieces. And then I'm just going to arrange these florals in a nice pattern. Now, something I want you to notice with this floral is by gluing down some pieces on the page level and then lifting others above the photo, I'm creating a lot of depth. It looks like there is a significant amount of depth on the page by doing that, by creating layers and having different pieces within the same cluster at separate levels. So again, at the top right, I'll have this heart glued straight down to the page. Both of these hearts will be glued straight down to the page, but the floral next to it will be lifted up and on top of the photo. So again, you're having those levels of dimension, and it just adds a really interesting look to your layout. So if you're looking to kind of take your layouts a little higher up, a little bit more sophisticated, that's a great way to do it. And it doesn't have to be a lot. Like, I'm just adding one layer of foam. This foam is super, super thin. It's probably 1/8 of an inch, maybe. So it's not going to add a ton of bulk to your album, and it lays pretty flat. So in your album, you won't have to worry about it. It's not like Flare that sticks up pretty tall. So this just gives the appearance of depth and really kind of lifts your layout to a new level, I think. And I did want to add a little cluster down here at the bottom right, partially for the rule of 3, but also because I wanted to tie in the branding strip, because I do end up leaving that branding strip on. I do that sometimes. It adds a nice little border. If it looks good with the paper that I'm using, then I'll go ahead and leave it on and just chop 1/2 inch off the top of the page, and that way we're still at 12 by 12. Now this one, I really like the branding strip. It's white with some leaves with all the colors from the kit, and I felt like that gave me permission, if you will, to bring in these other colors, to bring in a little bit of pink, a little bit of orange, a little bit of that teal, and of course the purple, because they were in the branding strip. So I tied the branding strip in with the rest of the page by adding a small cluster down there at the bottom. It also gave me a little bit more space for journaling. If you are new to my channel, I do a lot of journaling. I am a writer, I am a talker, and I always have plenty to say. So multiple journaling spots are a win for me. And went back to the cut apart sheet here because it had this really fantastic orange banner that said, "You're my fave." And anyone who is familiar with my dad and I knows that he and I were very, very close. And he was definitely my favorite person growing up. He was just one of those people that you could talk to about anything. And he was very patient. He was very caring. He was very calm as a person. He was a very calming person. And I really miss him. I miss him so much. I did consider those rubber words that came with the kit, but they're not white. So I felt like there's so much bright white on this page. Bringing in an off-white and having it be the only off-white would stand out too much. I did decide to grab the clear sticker booklet that came with the, I think it's the Traveler's Notebook kit, I'm pretty sure. and pulled some stickers from there. I grabbed some of the leaves. One of them was purple, and I wanted to bring a little bit of purple to that top right cluster. And so I just did one little purple leaf, backed it on some white paper so that it would pop just a little bit more and not fade into that craft journaling spot. And then I added some of the clear white stickers with leaves around the two big clusters and then the smaller cluster at the bottom, because on that wood grain paper, that clear white sticker absolutely pops. It looks fantastic. It didn't need to be backed. It looks great just as is. I was really excited that those worked so well on that. Those would work really well on a black background, especially. You could do, there's a lot of these white stickers in this sticker book. You could do a whole huge cluster of these leaves and then layer some florals on top on a black background, and it would look amazing. So that's a possibility for a future layout. I also grabbed this sticker. It was a gold foil sticker, and it has the absolute perfect sentiment for this page. It says, "You belong somewhere you feel free." And I just felt like it was made for this photo. My dad passed away from cancer in 2015, and he was in a great deal of pain. He was also, as a person, a very free-spirited man and someone who just wasn't really tied down to any ideals, wasn't really tied down to any jobs. He did move jobs a lot, and he was ready to go. Like, if you wanted to go do something, let's go. He was open to spontaneity. He was open to having a fun, having a good time. And I thought this quote is perfect. He would love it. So I felt like it needed to be on this page. I went ahead and put that clear sticker onto some white foam, which allows it to pop up just a little bit off of that photo. Again, adding those layers of depth, but also, because it's a clear sticker, putting it on a white backing will make it pop. And it worked really well for that sentiment. Grab these little tiny, tiny puppy hearts, which I adore. These are a fantastic embellishment to include in a collection. Amy Tan, nice job. Those are fantastic. So I sprinkle those all around, as well as some tiny little clear stickers that had some black hearts and some gold asterisks around the page for my scattering. And then, of course, we will have splattering. There will be plenty of splattering. And so I'm just kind of being finicky now. Just kind of moving the little pieces around. I think one of the little hearts had jumped off of the sticker backing and landed. And I'm like, oh, you want to be on the layout too? Let me find a place for you to live. Adding my journaling in here, which basically just says that I hardly find the words to express how much I miss my dad. And I really do. I think of him every single day. And this page, though, is a bit of a thankful page. It's a bit of a, I miss you, but we got so much time with you, and it was amazing that we had so many years with you. And so I'm doing some splattering, scattering and splattering. Here we go, splattering now in gold Heidi Salt Color Shine, and then black. Yes, I did both. So we have both the dark and the light Heidi Salt Color Shine splattering all around. I think those black elements definitely help make this a more masculine page. So now it is done, a fairly simple layout, but I absolutely love all the little details included, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, bye!